Hi everybody, Mitch Albom here, and this is your catch-up on Chapter 3 of Human Touch, or as they would say on an HBO show, previously on Human Touch. Before we get into that, I want to say thank you to so many of you who have made donations. We were proudly able to open this week the first mobile testing site for COVID-19 in downtown Detroit. There's one kind of on the outskirts, but this one is not only a mobile testing site, but also a place where people who don't have cars, people who are poor, or people might even be homeless, can walk up and can get a test for COVID-19. And I was so proud to see this open, and it's all through your generosity, through the Human Touch Project. This is how literature helps life. So now to get you caught up previously on Human Touch. So chapter 3 begins with little Moses, the 8-year-old boy, having a dream, one of what's going to be a number of dreams as the story goes on. And he's dreaming that he's playing in the clouds and there are other children, but he can't get to them. And suddenly there's a strange Haitian man who starts speaking to him in Creole and says before he can play with the kids, he has to do something. And he lifts him up and he shows him multitudes of people coming his way. And little Moses doesn't understand what he has to do with any of this. Meanwhile, you might recall that the Ricketts family, old man Ricketts, his wife Charlene, were shocked when their grandson was taken to jail to try to teach him a lesson after joyriding a snowmobile, and they kept him there for 5 days. And as a result, now old man Ricketts is worried that he might have gotten the coronavirus because there's stories coming out that the virus was spreading in the jail. And so when the police bring Buck home to release him, old man Ricketts has the very difficult challenge of saying he can't come in. And of course, this is his grandson, but he's refusing him because he doesn't want to get sick and he doesn't want his wife to get sick. And Buck can't believe that his grandfather's putting him out and runs away distraught and angry and crying. Meanwhile, Ava, Amy's daughter, is feeling particularly guilty because she found out that her boyfriend Troy now has the virus, and she had met him in the woods, as you may recall, for a little kissing session that she now regrets because she wonders if she has the virus herself. But of course, she doesn't want to tell her parents because A, she'd get in trouble for kissing him, and B, she doesn't want them to think that she has the virus. So she keeps this important secret to herself. Meanwhile, Pastor Winston has decided on a Sunday to hold services. He feels that he has been sent a divine message and he's going to hold the services even though he's not supposed to gather anymore. It's now against the law to have church services. And then, emboldened by this, another congregation member stands up and says, well, I don't care. God's going to protect us. And she grabs the person next to her and hugs her. And then everyone in the church starts hugging and shaking hands. And Pastor Winston looks at this and starts to think, wait a minute, what have I done? This wasn't supposed to happen. And we leave that scene there. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Greg is just going crazier and crazier. The place is overrun. The cases are overrun. They don't have enough equipment. They don't have enough supplies. And in the middle of all this, chasing from room to room, he gets a message from his wife. He calls her back. And his wife says that her mother, Ginger, who's been staying with them, is now running a fever. And so Greg realizes the virus mountain may be in his own home, and he has to tell her, you've got to stay away from her, keep everybody away. I'll get back as soon as I can. Finally, the chapter 3 ends with 3 short cliffhanger moments. One is Pastor Winston is in his office, and his wife says, can you come out? He says, why? And she says, the police are here. Ta-da! 2, Cindy comes out of the house. Remember, her husband Sam has the virus. They're Chinese American. And she comes out of the house just to get something on the lawn. And she sees a sign on her lawn. And she goes and looks at it. And it says, Chinese virus lives here. Stay away. And she realizes some forces in the neighborhood are now considering them pariahs. And the third cliffhanger is Sam, who has the virus, late at night, struggling as he's sleeping. He's in pain, he's got a fever, and suddenly the door creaks open and in walks little Moses. And he actually gets into the bed with Sam and hugs him and lets his body heat match up against his, despite the fact that this is the last thing he should be doing in terms of getting sick. and we wonder what's going to happen to little Moses now, and that's where we end chapter 3. So you're now all caught up. You can go into chapter 4 fully prepared. Again, thank you for supporting Human Touch, the story, humantouchstory.com on the web. Please continue to support our efforts here in Detroit. I'll continue to write. We have 4 more chapters after this one, 8 total. And so the story is just about reaching the halfway point, and it's getting really good. So thanks for your support, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.